We're at least wound up our coaching career with some of the older boys, particularly our own, Jim and ours. So it's very difficult to watch that because, of course, that's it. You know, we're not going to see it happen again. However, there are some guys that didn't get to get roasted, if you will. And some of them are here. Some of them got roasted, but their parents didn't see it. So we're going to take the opportunity now to do a few. Particularly, let's start off with Jeff Cellini. Come on up here, Jeff. Margie, you get that smoke.
Yep. Light the fire. We're starting to cook here. The roast is on.
Well, you wouldn't know it by on the field, but because he is one of the most aggressive, one of the most aggressive ball players I know. But he also is one of the most gentlemanly players I know off the field. I don't know of a more polite individual than Jeff. I mean, he's a principled guy. You know, I love him. He plays his heart for you. God will play his heart out for you. And that's the reason why he's gone this year with us, because that's the kind of ball player we needed many times, enough times. We used Jeff as the example, as this is the kind of focusing that we wanted to have on the team. And he exhibited so many times, and he's a coach's dream when it comes to that. I want you to know that, and I'm really proud of him. His brother is a different kind of ball player. Jeff is his own ball player, and he's the kind of ball player, every bit as important as Mike is on the field, Jeff, you are on the field and off the field. And I just want to tell you that I really appreciate all that you've done, and I appreciate you coming.
That pretty well says it for me, too. I think there are many occasions that I said to the boys, and I don't think the parents really got to hear me say this, that Jeff set the emotional example to start a game off. He was the one that said, we're committed to winning this game. And he was. Every game we went out, he was committed to winning. The intensity was there. He was different than Mike, just like Joe and Marty were different. These two boys are different.
Thank goodness you're like Martin.
I don't think so.
We've known Jeff for a number of years, and we got with us last year and didn't play him this year. He played, and he was a very important part of this team. On both trips, he was very important off the field, and on this trip, he got to play a lot, and he was important on the trip. So Jeff, it was a real pleasure, and hope you can do well on the field.
Well, as long as Mr. Runnels is taping this, we're just going to go ahead and give Mike his trophies, and we're just going to do it without him here, but everybody knows Mike and can feel his presence anyway because he's so special. Would you get his things as well? Since you're doing it, Margie, I'll wait for a few moments. Each of the captains of the team got a trophy, and this is Mike's captain's trophy. Incidentally, Jeff's trophy says finalist, and that's for the bond tournament. Mike's trophy says semi-finalist, and that's for the bond tournament as well. You got a little medal as well that's around the neck here. All I can tell you is, Mike, again, different ball players, totally different kind of ball players, but very much inspirational, a very much inspirational ball player. You know, again, one of those type of guys that you want on a team. He exhibits leadership. Obviously, as a captain, he was a very important part of that. Mike is the kind of intense ball player that you dream of having as a coach. And he not only did it on the field, but off the field, and genuinely a real special guy. He's got a special love for the sport and his family. He exhibited his love for God. It was kind of really special to see that as a ball player. On and off the field, a very intense and a very much a leader in every way. And I just want you to know, and as a Yeah, Joe Margie, you don't know. This guy is going to make it, just as Jeff is going to make it a long, long way because of the kind of guys they are, and that's a tribute to you two as well. Okay. And this is for the two of them.
That goes for me too, and Mike, all of our captains, Kevin and Todd and Mike were picked to be captains for some special reasons. These are the boys that can keep their heads under pressure, can keep their heads when things are going wrong, and set a good example when things are going wrong. And Mike did that very, very well. He's an outstanding individual, in addition to being a great athlete. And I'm sure at school at Sacramento State, he's going to do real well. The whole Cellini family, I think, they were a lot of fun on both these trips, and Mike was a big part of that. So.
Thank you.
Marjorie, you come out here and see.
Mike is at school because he's in semesters, unlike quarters. He's already in school. And he's working very hard. And I think the one thing Michael would want me to say is that these two gentlemen have done a great deal for our family, and especially for Michael and Joe. But Mike really has a better sense of things right now, having come out of tryouts at Sac State and making the team, and then being redshirted once he was hurt. We laugh, and we have laughed through the years, and all the horrendous trips and walks that Sandy and Jim have taken us on. We've had a lot of very strange names for them also. But I think that helped Mike a great deal this year. That's it, the walking. So again, from Michael, may I just say thank both of you very, very much. You helped shape him as a player, and he really appreciates it. Thank you again. Thanks.
Well, for the benefit of the Beckhams who weren't able to, Mr. and Mrs. Beckham who weren't able to be here for the party, but the boys were here. We'd like to at least have the boys down here again. You guys have the trophies already. I'd like for you to come on down here and listen to this abuse that you're going to get again.
We didn't hear about
Double. Yeah, we'll do it both. You know, we're only for the purpose of time. We're going to take them both up here at the same time. But you know what? Both of them are super ball players. Both of them exhibit the same sort of leadership, the same sort of example in how they play. Their intensity is both the same. It's unusual. I guess it's very unusual when it comes to twins, is to have two of them that are very, very much alike. Not only looking-wise, but characteristic-wise in many ways. I know that they're different, you know, in their own characteristics at home, but on the field, they are very, very aggressive and fine-tuned ball players. And you know, these are the kind of guys that you want to have because they're very steady ball players. You know, I've often wondered, Jim and I often wonder whether or not we'd ever do another boys team. But I'll tell you something, if it weren't because of guys like these guys, we would be long gone, I think, because obviously our boys have aged out. But these guys are very, very special to us, and these particular two are very special to us because they are with everything that we would ever want to see in a ball player. And not only because they're excellent ball players, but they're excellent individuals. And that too may come from the parents, yes, because they're super parents as well. But you know, whether or not the Beckhams all went as a family, these guys would have done as well as they did. They just were excellent. They were so integral in the part of the team and making it and doing well and going as far as we did. So congratulations, guys. I know you have your trophies already, but I'm sure glad your parents are here to hear all this, okay?
We had a lot of fun with these two young men. I think somebody wondered out loud early on when we were all joking about whether we could tell them apart or not. Somebody wondered whether they could tell each other apart. Which kind of set the tone for if I'm right, this is Jeff and this is Jerry.
Hey. Yeah. Right, Jim.
They are different and they're very much alike. They're both highly skilled players and both just really great kids. The family was just a lot of fun. And I understand Jerry's got aspirations for a political office now, and I think maybe maybe Sandy had some small part in that. He teaches us to set high standards, and these boys have learned that. You do set high standards, and you go for it. And good luck to you, Jerry, because that's an important part of life. These young men have learned that very well.
You know, I think you're starting off your political career real quick in the beginning like this when you can't talk. So I think that's very good. You gotta learn, guys. Now, where is that Jeff Martino?
Yo.
My energy. Promises, and then say that since I'm not Jerry, I'm Jeff.
Margie, can you do me a favor and give me Jeff's trophies? Here's a squeaky door over there. Here's a young man that's, and I say young man because he is, very much like the Beckhams who started out pretty young. I mean, Jeff and Jerry were very young on the team, and Jeff started on a team, I guess it's been 3 years, to 4 years, 3 years ago, and came on a team as the youngest ball player. And just for your information, because you never got to know, some of you didn't get to know Jeff as well as we know Jeff, he won most valuable player by the opposing team as the youngest guy on the team. I mean, he was the smallest, but the most guttiest guy out on the team. And that, of course, set the tone for what was going to happen for years after. So he went the second year, and he was an integral part of the team, and he did everything that he had to do. And of course, we did very well in that second tournament. And of course, we asked him this trip to come back as a captain. And a captain he was the leader of that the Division II team. He was everybody we looked to. Every time we looked for leadership in that team, he was the guy we looked to. And he was very much a coach on that team because that kind of leadership ability didn't come as a forced thing, it came naturally. And not only is he an excellent ball handler, but he is an excellent leader. And not only that, he's an excellent individual. And he's been a neighbor. He's been I guess he's been our son on, Jim and my son on a Division II team. And we couldn't be more proud to have a son like him. And I'm just really proud to have been part of your career and everything that you're going to do from this point on. Put that up in just a real special place because you deserve that. You really deserve that.
Sandy often talks too much and takes everything away. but we've seen this Jeff grow up. We really have. I think he turned either 13 or 14 on our first trip. And that was his birthday. He was not only the youngest, but the smallest. He's no longer the smallest, and he's not the youngest. And inside, he's probably the biggest player we have. Very, very strong leader, emotionally. Always keeps his head. He's a very intelligent player. He can read what the other boys are doing and help us with those things. He does all those things that we need out of a leader. He does them very, very well. Very, very well. Jeff's going to be a success no matter what he does because he's committed to success and he's committed to doing things right. And those are the keys to success, and he's going to be successful. Good luck to you guys.
While we've got a few moments, and Randy, as long as you have a little bit more footage on there, I just want to say a couple of things about the chaperones that are here, okay? Because this is going to be the one that we'll keep for that purpose. Okay, the Solderans, if you would come up. Come on, Eric. Where's Kenny? Okay. I would probably best categorize these two especially as the mom and dad of the trip. And little brother. Okay? And I guess you could say that Bonnie was the mom because she held the purse string, you know, the money, and we had to always beg to her about of her to get some money to pay for things, and Denny was the ideal father. He just said, yeah, whatever you want, it's okay. Whatever mom says. But on this trip, only probably. And Eric was a special part in that he was part of the team. There's times that we thought we wanted to put a uniform on him and get him to play out there because we had some times that we needed some extra ball players out there. But a very special too. Obviously, we had some fun with them. We had some good times eating. I guess that's basically what we did on our off time was eat. But we found some good places together, and I really appreciate all that you've done. And we had a lot of fun. We'd do it again with you. We could.
And that's, I don't think anybody, unless you've been on one of these trips or really heavily involved, understands how much work goes into doing what Bonnie did and the whole family stuff. And it goes on, right, Bonnie?
It's still sitting on the table.
It's just a tremendous amount of work. And if you don't do it right, it becomes a big, big headache. And Bonnie, Bonnie's done it right. And I think our books this year are better than they ever have been.
That's right. See, Eric. Okay, now we have...
Sandy, I wasn't here last time, so I didn't get to see Troy.
You didn't see Troy?
No.
He left.
No, he didn't.
No, he's sitting right down here.
He's here.
That's right, I'm sorry. Troy, come on up here.
Come here, Troy.
Well, yeah, and I'm sorry. Let's do Troy. In case you don't know, Randy, Troy is a real special guy, and I know you know because you were with me, and of course you're very special to him. We have had, this is the second year Troy's been, and obviously because of his merit, because of all the things that he's done, he's one of those type of ball players that is very, very aggressive out in the field. He was one of the kind of guys that the Europeans were afraid of because every time he got on the field, they kind of said, uh-oh, here he comes, you know. And you know what? He gained a lot of respect from that. And the guys respected him because he was a very, very integral part of being the type of guy that made things happen. And he shows it on the field when he plays now. I guess you did that the other day too. Not normally does he get red carded, but of course that's all part of but that's all part of his enthusiasm for the sport. And we don't advocate that. We don't advocate that red cards, but we do advocate the fact that his enthusiasm is very special. He didn't get in Europe though. He just scored in Europe.
I don't know, I guess Troy's responsible for the saying that we heard over and over on the trip. That's my boy.
And I think that if you really watch what you do, your dad will give you that shirt.
Not till after his wedding, man. Wear it to his wedding.
Troy was very, very special, and he kept that enthusiasm for the game, whether he was playing or whether he wasn't. And I think everybody was very, very pleased, and I know he was. That right after we put him in one game, I think within 5 minutes he scored a goal.
That's right.
Later on he scored another goal. That was real helpful all the way through both tournaments.
That's on tape forever. You know.
And Troy just helped us immeasurably. And we asked him back on this trip because of that. And I'd like to take him again if we were going to do some more.
That's right. Okay. While we have families, let's ask the Beckhams to come up.
Yeah.
Who said that, you?
You have no rabbit dishes?
It's on the cage.
Well, there's always that family that goes on the trip that that really truly, I guess the boys really truly adopt as their parents, in a sense that they call Jeff and Julie mom and dad. Guys that, and in some cases, they're not here, but they're some guys that probably really needed that kind of role model. And I thought that was really special. And I think that, you know, it was obvious that they loved each one that were there. And they were a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know, if it weren't for these two, I think that, and three, excuse me, I probably wouldn't have had as good of a time as I had. These people are very, very special. I can't tell you how many important things that we talked about. Jeff helped me during the time that we tried to change the mind of the Germans, and we didn't. I think we were close, but we didn't get it all the way across. I guess I don't know whatever happened, but the fact of the matter is we went away feeling like we did what we had to do, and it was important, and I thought it was excellent. Julie was very supportive in everything. She made sure that she tried restaurants out before we got to eat them. And so she was our tester. And then there is Jamie, who just stole the hearts of all the boys, I'll tell you. I mean, if she were 5 years older, we'd be in big trouble. But the fact of the matter is, the boys loved her as a sister, and they still do. It's just amazing how everybody can say hi and talk to one another and still feel like they've been on the trip. And I neat family.
Jamie, I think you got passed around with all 29 boys.
Goodness, what a start, huh?
And Jeff was a big help. He helped organize a lot of things for us, and Julie, I think, was positive and looking out for other people's feelings the whole trip. Always helped us both. And it was emotionally, this family just did a lot for this trip and this club. It was a lot of fun having them, and I think all the boys really appreciate having this family with us. They're very fun.
Don and Linda. Don and Linda. Where's Don at?
Right here, I know, right here.
Come on out here.
What can you say that hasn't already been said?
They checked out all the bars for us.
Julie checked out the food. Don and Linda checked out. Don checked out the bars, okay?
On Jeff's recommendation.
Yes, right.
Well, you know, actually they came as vacationers at first because they had already been on a trip to Europe with the team. The team that Damon was playing on, not what Damon was coaching. What was kind of neat to see, and part of it was because obviously he's an excellent goalkeeper. We had an opportunity to see Damon play some games, and I thought that was really special. But as far as coming on the trip, they came together kind of on a vacation, and we ended up making them work. And they worked, and they worked, and they worked, and they were just nothing but a blessing to be with on the trip. You know, here we have our nurse on hand. We were in good shape. We had Don, who pretty much knew his way around anywhere. Anytime we went instructions of where to get someplace or directions, we went to Don. He was able to get us places.
He's already been there.
He's already been there. This guy's the most well-traveled guy I know. But super people. Fun to be with at nighttime. We end up going out with them.
Yes. Party animal.
Yeah, that's right. Especially Linda. Anyway.
No, wait a minute, if we're gonna take this route, Mary's taking it with us.
All I want to know is which every night in Copenhagen when they close everything up. But anyway, we had a really special time, and I really appreciate you coming. I mean, I knew you didn't have to do this. You could have gone off and done anything you wanted to because you didn't have to be with the guys, but you were. And I really appreciate that.
Thank you. We really enjoyed the kids a lot, and it was a pleasure since Damon's older, getting to be with him on a trip like this and seeing how he interacted with the boys. It was great.
And we didn't get to talk about Damon. I think you had to say something about Damon as well as a coach and as a.
He's too bad he missed the interview.
Yeah, no, he
He's
missed
at
there.
school.
So,
Yeah.
Well, Damon and Tim as well. Damon and Tim both. They worked hard all through the development of this team. Basically during before we left, Tim and Damon handled all the morning practices for us. All of them. That was quite an effort. And obviously the boys were well trained because we did that. Damon was a big part of that. At first we thought we were going to use Damon primarily to train our goalies. Turned out he, along with Tim, basically trained everybody in all the positions. He was also a very strong emotional leader along the way. He helped to link the boys to us, I think, and quite an important step there. So, Damon was a very, very important artist. Linda helped us, Don helped us. I think at first I imagined that they were going to go on the trip and just be along with us, but it turned out that they were a big part of this trip. Don made a lot of friends for us. The fact that they're usually drunk
The friends were
No,
but he was able to bridge the language gap.
Nobody can understand anyone.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
We wouldn't have been there without you, Sandy.
Come on down, Mary. I think, yes.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Let's talk about the flight.
Now, on a more serious note, regarding our trip, regarding our accommodations, regarding the tournament rules,
You want to put this shirt on, Mary?
Lyncher! It's all her fault. Actually, Mary was just a very, very important part of our trip. She helped plan this. If we thought it was a lot of work trying to plan this, she was the one that put it all together in terms of getting the flight schedules and tournaments all put together and where we're going to go, where we're going to stay, and all the other things. It's never easy. And we've found out anytime you travel to Europe, it's never easy. And even though there were some problem areas, it could have been a whole lot worse if we did not have the original plan in the first place. And and she's a lot of fun, incidentally. She was the first leg of this trip. She spent most of her time drunk with Don and Linda. But when she was sober, she was a lot of help to this team, which amounted to about 3 hours a day.
8 to 11.
Anyway, she every evening came around, I saw her dressed up, and I saw Don and Linda dressed up, and they were out either going gambling or someplace. I don't know what they did, but they sure went out a lot.
We just sat and talked about the final points for us.
Yes.
Research.
But, for next year, right?
What you're going to do for the next
I
year.
understand. Okay. At any rate, her family has been very important to this program. Her son has been on a trip with us. Daryl's been on a trip with us. And so she knows all about the fundraising. She knows all about the trip. She knows all about, she works for a company, Action Youth. Of course, she knows all about what goes on. So she knew what to expect, and she was very important to us. And we're just glad that you're part of this group, too.
She used to be the fundraising chairman, huh?
Okay,
You're not gonna get let
we're gonna get Randy, but we're also gonna get the greens.
So green.
Where are the greens?
Well,
Get
there's
her.
Margie right here.
And you got
Margie.
Mrs. Cellini too.
Green, do the green.
We haven't finished yet. Yes, you're right.
We could do sirens again.
Do the sirens again.
Just hang on a page.
And we don't want to do the tape again.
I don't know where Loopy was, but that's the quietest I've heard her in the last 5, 6 years. No, it's been about 8 years that I've known her. Anyway, as you know, Rod and Loopy Green are very, you may know, are very, very special to my family in particular. Not only have their boys been part of the program for a lot of years, starting with their oldest, and then with Todd and John, you know, they've been around for a long time. You can tell they've been around for a long time. Well, there you go. Anyway, however, throughout the years, they have been our team photographers and slideshow producers, along with Todd and Jamie. If it weren't for them and weren't for the the persistence of doing that, and just the fact of just giving it everything that they've got for these boys. I mean, that's the kind of heart that they have, and I know they would never say it. They're just the sweetest people that you could know. They, well, Rod is anyway.
Loopy thought she had it for a moment.
I saw me look at you when you said that.
Not to mention his tape. I mean, I don't have any political aspirations, but I certainly don't want that on tape. But anyway, seriously, two people who love every one of the boys, and it's obvious. And not only their own, mine, and every one of yours. That's the kind of people that they are. You know, these are the kind of people that you want to have as your very, very good friends, and they are our very good friends in our family, and we wouldn't know what to do without them. So I don't know how to say other than that. I really appreciate y'all. Okay.
People are also all year round good friends. Those 2 or 3 weeks that we're not involved in soccer, they're still, we still get together. They're still very important to me, and it's been that way for I'm not sure how long now, but a long time. Very special people. They work very hard. They get involved, very heavily involved in everything they do, and they're always looking out for the other people and what's happening. It's been a lot of fun, and it's meant a lot to me. So I appreciate it.
It's been our pleasure knowing you too.
Can't begin to thank everyone for the unbelievable experiences as we sat here and watched the show. This brings the memories back and the tears back, and I keep saying, can we start working on them to go again? Thanks for everything.
Yeah, I bet.
How many trips have you been on?
I know.
4?
Are you going to do this when we take Jamie and Melissa?
Sure.
You have to stand in for show too.
This is our very, very special Margie. Did you get it? She doesn't have Joe here to fend for her, and so she's going to have to stand here alone. Joe, I just want you to know, because you're going to see this tape, I hope, that not only do I feel that you're a very special person, because you also care a lot about this team, about us as individuals, and you show it, and you're a leader, you're an organizer, and you're everything that we needed to have on a trip. We asked you to come back. This is your second time. Obviously, you worked a lot harder this time because you knew all the ropes, and the first time you did everything you could do, and we really appreciate all that you've done. You know, I don't know, if you were here, I'd give you a big hug. I won't go as far as Jeff Beckham has kissed you, but
Or bite his ear.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're not here.
Especially when you're not here. But you have a very special wife, and I'd like to talk to you all about your wife, who throughout the year has been such a support for this team. Everything we possibly ever want, she's helped, she's done everything, she's made phone calls, she's helped in the car wash, that miserable car wash. Everything that we needed to get done in that area, obviously because she knew what to do, pardon me?
She counted candy into the middle of the
She
night
had
with me.
candy counting, anything. I mean, you know, we never thought she was that intelligent. She took all these things on, right? It's only because she really, truly loves the boys. Her boys are a very special part of this program. Fortunately, they were on both the older and the younger team, which is kind of neat to see that happen. All I can tell you is, again, here's a family that we've grown to love very, very much in a short time. And, you know, friendships have been made on trips like this. And I tell you something, there isn't anybody who went on this trip that we haven't grown closer to. And even though I thought that I was really close to Joe and Margie, this trip was very special in that way. So I really thank you for.
Well, thanks, that wasn't so bad. I just don't know, what are you gonna do?
You know, Joe family last year, we had Beth, and we had and Mike and Jeff, and big part of the team. Margie's probably not what you might call a morning person. But the rest of the day, she's 110%. Going for the kids, looking out for the kids, making sure that things are done right, and righting wrongs and all those things. Margie does very, very well. And she goes at it. She really does. And it was really important to this trip. A lot of fun besides.
Good, that's enough.
That's enough.
The writer of wrong.
Someone take the camera for Randy Runnels, please, so we can.
Please.
He's ready.
Do I have to push anything?
No, just like that.
Don't try.
Where's Troy?
You better back up on there on the Zoom.
Let's get a shot of this. Stomach, the picture.
That's his dad.
That's my dad.
That's my boy.
You know,
Point out Mary there.
There's Mary.
you know, it was an interesting start when Randy had decided to be part of this trip. He had thought that he was going to use his frequent flyer miles and use that miles and be able to go on his trip and really do it for a cheap price and have a vacation to be with his son, and I thought that was kind of neat. Well, it turned out this frequent flyer miles didn't work for some reason or another. It was too late. We had to rush it through, and he ended up having to go and buy tickets to go. So he was committed. I mean, he spent a lot of money to do this. He was committed to do it. I got to see an opportunity for he and his son to spend some time, which was kind of neat. I think, you know, for dads to be able to do that, that's very special. That was a real special thing. And then, what help he was on the trip, and you know, he also was our pathfinder. I mean, you know, here's this guy who's been everywhere in the world, it seems. And you say, well, you know, what about this place? Well, I've been there, you know. And here's a well-traveled guy. So what he brought with us on this trip was some experience on how to get around. You know, don't take no for an answer. Go to the train stations, use the buses. I'm the kind of guy that likes to use, you know, chartered buses, limousines, and things like that. You know, and here's somebody that says, no, you can go on a train, you can go on a bus, and it's not all that difficult. And I think, gosh, we all got to get on this bus, and I got to get on this train. And you know what? He made it easy. He made it real easy. He knew how to do it, and it was neat to be able to do that. He saved the team a lot of money in doing so. And it was fun. It was an experience. And you know, it wasn't a bad experience. It was a fun experience to be able to do that. Kind of a stretch, huh? Anyway.
Kind of a stretch.
At any rate, we don't know what we would do with that. We did need that, and he also was a lot of fun at restaurants. We went out to restaurants, we went to pubs, and what else have you. But we had some good talks, and we had some good times, and he became a very good friend during that time. And I really appreciate your coming. Thank you.
I want you to know he was out in those bars with us too. You're not getting off so easy either.
Yeah, I think Randy, my impression at first of Randy was he wanted to go to Europe and watch his son play soccer. Boy, that's great. I think he did that. He didn't know too many boys to start with, I think. But he learned all about the boys, and he did help us find our way around very, very well. And he found some things that we could do by finding the way to get there that we would not have done otherwise. Not only that, but I think he realized that once we get there, these boys should know something about what they're doing. We did the extra research, and he told the boys about what they were seeing, and added a lot to the educational and cultural value of what we were doing. And, when we were busy with games, Randy and Don were busy helping the other guys get around and do things, and something that just added a lot to the program. I'm sure all the boys appreciated that, and I think you had a good time too. So,
Thank you, both of you, for the opportunity that you give all of us. I appreciate it.
And last but not least, actually, we want to just make a quick few comments about Ernie and Vicki Roper, who aren't here. Hopefully they'll get to see this tape as well. Ernie and Vicki are probably the two sweetest people I know. They came on this trip specifically to be with the boys. They have no boys on this team. They just remembered the experience that they had a few years ago when their son came with us and played goalkeeper for us. He came 2 years with us on a trip, and they remembered, I should say, how important it was to have good chaperones, and they also remember how much fun it was to be a chaperone. So they came back to do that. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They were good chaperones. They cared a lot about the kids. They didn't know any of the kids. They just knew a few, but they got to know them all. And they're not that old, but you kind of get the feeling of these wonderful grandparents. They're not that old. I hope they don't get this tape. But they would make wonderful grandparents. Anybody that
Someday.
Someday.
Down the way.
Actually, they have a grandson, and they're obviously very, very special grandparents to their grandson, and he's very young. These guys are much too old to be grandparents. But we love them. The good news is that
They have a number of years left.
the good news is they don't look a day older than Rodriguez.
We got off easy. I thought you were here.
Also,
What happens when you're not here?
also, it is now after the trip, and Sharon Hames was on the trip. She was very special on the trip. She came, first of all, with her son Christian. This was a planned thing prior to the trip. Somehow or another, during this trip, sort of.
Here it comes, Jim.
Something happened, okay? Jim and Sharon are going to be married, and we're really excited about that. We are so pleased about that. And all kidding aside, Jim has been a very, very good friend of mine for a number of years, and he's been, frankly, my best friend. Everything I ever thought about, every time we talked, it was Jim. Jim was there. I mean, it's always been that way. And he's very special to my family. And for him to find someone like Sharon, to me, is I guess an answer to our prayers. We're really pleased. We're really pleased for the both of them. They seem made for each other. I guess I mean, they're so much in love, you think that they're 20 years old, you know? I think that's kind of neat.
Here he goes, the age thing.
Your grandpa yet?
At any rate, in just closing, at least on my part, not only am I happy for the two of them, I just want you to know that if you were if you would just imagine all the work that it took to get on this trip, all the paperwork, all the planning, all the schedules, and getting the list out and putting the notebooks together, putting the cards together, the sponsor letters, all that Jim did. Jim has put hours upon hours upon hours into this team. And, you know, he doesn't brag about any of that, he just does it. And, you know, if you just knew how much he puts in or how much he had put into this team, you'd be amazed, just amazed. And Jim, I just want to thank you for everything that you always do, and that you always will do. I mean, that's just the kind of guy he is. And thank you for being here.
As always, Sandy's gone way too far with this. Every time he gets an audience, you know, you just want and he said last time we got together, he said some really nice things, and I didn't get a chance to react. I really don't know how to react to that. Sandy and his whole family have been very, very special. They've been my family for as long as I've known them. They just adopted me, basically, and made me feel a part of their family, and they are very special people, and I love all of them. Sandy sets some very high standards and for conduct and for how you live your life, and I recognize those standards, and I think it's good for everybody, and I try to meet them. Maybe someday I will. But Sandy's been a lot to me, and he's a very, very special friend. He is my best friend as well, and he's the kind of guy I'd do anything for. And that's one of the reasons I do this. I think he's got a good program going here, and I want to be part of it. And not only because I think it's a good program, but I just want to be recognized as part of this thing. And I'm getting that. So, Sandy, I thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you all for being part of this evening. It's been very special. It's been emotional. Yes, it's been emotional for me. Watching that video again was pretty tough for me, I want you to know. So, anyway.
That was good. Todd.
Thank you, Todd.
Todd, you guys have done an excellent job doing that.
Thank your brother, and of course, Rod, thank you.
Did the tape turn out? That's why.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Did it?
Yes.
Can we get copies of it?
Sure.
Thanks,
Well, give me 5 minutes, okay?